that's what everybody was thinking, right? Because now she's posting that today is the anniversary. Did y'all see that message that she posted with a sonogram of Aurora? There were a lot of people thinking that she was pregnant again. She is not pregnant again. At least not that I know of, not that I'm aware of. I think her posting that photo, yeah, her posting that photo, I think she was trying to maybe make people think that she was pregnant. You know, she's always trying to get attention, doing one thing or another. So it's not abnormal for her to, you know, post things like that in order to get attention. Hey, if you're just coming back from YouTube, I don't know what happened with my computer. It's raining really hard outside, and it just kicked me off again. It kicked me off like twice. So, I don't know what's going on. So I'll explain again. I was watching Hate T Joyless. She posts content on both YouTube and on TikTok, and she was the one that posted that she talked to Gypsy, I guess last year, and Gypsy claimed that Google had the information wrong, and it wasn't on June the 9th, that it was June the 10th. So that's where that information is coming from now. And these are the screenshots. So I got these from Hate T's page. And then she even says, obviously Google got it wrong. This is Gypsy replying to Hate Joyless's comment last year in reference to DeeDee's death date. So everybody last year and this year posted something kind for DeeDee, like remembering DeeDee. And we all did the same thing last year. So Gypsy commented on Hate T's post saying that she got it wrong and that it wasn't on June the 9th, that it was actually on June the 10th. That was what she posted last year. And now, this year, she's trying to flip the script by saying that, you know, last year she was able to see Aurora's sonogram on June the 9th and trying to correlate that with the death date as well. But she's literally always changing the narrative. So we know, if you read her book, at the very end of the book, she talks about, hold on you guys, I'm going to flip you guys around so that I can throw the ball to my dog, because it's raining, so he can't get any exercise outside actually. So it's easier, so I don't have to keep getting up if I just flip you around. So I can still play with him, but also talk to y'all. Without having to like get up and get down and get up and get down and all that shit. You did read the book. Yeah, I read the book. Hey, Carissa, I read the book. I read the book last year when it came out on live. So everyone assumed that because Google had the death date written as June the 9th, that it was June the 9th. That's what everybody assumed, right? However, we know from text messages and from the autopsy that they didn't actually mark DeeDee as, DEAD until June the 10th. Like, that's what the autopsy says. And yeah, her book says June the 9th. She did not write that book. I don't even think she read the book. With all the contradictions that are in that book, there's absolutely no way that that bitch wrote that book. There's no way she wrote it. There's no way that she read it. There's just way too many contradictions for her to have had any information, any part of that book, other than saying, let's go forward with whatever content is in there. And the way that the book was written, it's so fucking confusing because it does not follow a specific timeline or trajectory of events. It's kind of all over the place. And I think that they did that for a reason, in order to keep the reader confused. Because if you're confused, you're not going to be questioning the inconsistencies in the book. Hold on, I lost this ball. Let me go grab it. Where'd it go, buddy? Can y'all hear the thunder? Can y'all hear the thunder? It's like thundering bad. Oh, that's weird. So somebody was saying that they had some loved ones pass away on certain dates, and they got their dates wrong as well. So it's not uncommon for the dates to be incorrect. Amy, it's storming here where I am too. It's not uncommon for the dates to be incorrect. However, people Google search everything. So if Google says that it's, hey Jacqueline, if Google says that it's June the 9th, that's what people are going to believe. And that's why it's been so easy for Gypsy to shift the narrative from it actually being June the 10th to switching it to June the 9th, because that's what it says on Google. But you can go to Google and you can click on hit feedback. And I'll show everyone how to do this so that you guys can go and also put in a request for feedback and correct Google so that Google knows that it actually happened on the 10th, not on the 9th. And then that will shift Gypsy's whole narrative from, seeing the sonogram on the 9th, the same day that her mom died, to it being two different dates rather than the same. Because she's trying to erase this negative memory and this negative association with this date to something positive. That's why she purposely went and had that sonogram done on June the 9th. Because you can absolutely choose what day you want to do your sonogram on. You don't have to, they don't call you and say, this is the day that you're going to do it, and you don't get any other options. They give you options on days for when you can go in and actually see a sonogram. It was probably her favorite song. Hold on. I need a text from So let me show you how to go. Hey Charlie, let me show you guys how to go to Google and actually switch the information. So what you're going to do is you're going to look up
finally admitting to it. Because saying June the 9th, I mean, Nick didn't get there till the 10th. Something had to happen that night. So.
It could be that. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on that button up at the top. That hamburger button up there. See? So when you go to search her name, you're going to click on those. And you're going to click on send feedback. And then you're going to choose what you want to give feedback on. We want to give feedback on the day that she actually died. So we're going to click that. And then you're going to click on what actually it is. And you're going to click inaccurate content. And then it's going to ask you to choose. Hey, Koi, it's going to ask you to choose through all of these. And you're going to choose incorrect. And then you're going to type in whatever it is so that you can correct the information. And then after I did all of this and clicked on submit, I actually sent Google a message, like an email. I actually emailed Google Help or whatever with the screenshots of the information from the text messages showing that DeeDee was still alive. I also sent information from the autopsy and then those screenshots that I took from Gypsy today. So you can click on give feedback if you want to. And I kind of figured that would be the best option to do. I don't know if there's content creators that are gathering evidence to prove that he was framed.
I mean, we know he was framed.
Yeah, we know he was framed. Does he know he was framed? Probably not. And yeah, it's easier for her to remember dates whenever they correlate with other dates. And most of that is because she's cognitively impaired and has a poor memory. So if things happen on or around the same date, it's easier for her to remember. And yeah, she absolutely knows what she's doing. She's diabolical. She's a fucking psychopath. And she wants people to believe that she's... Yeah, you have to be a good liar. You need to have a good memory. And she does not have a good memory at all. She contradicts from... I mean, just last year she was contradicting herself to this year. And that's part of her problem. That she can't remember the lies that she tells. And she always has an explanation for whatever lies that she's telling. Like, I think it was Lottie. I'm going to go to her video so that I can show you. Oops. I thought I was following Lottie, but I guess I wasn't. Hold on. So, Gypsy posted this picture of her and Ken with the sonogram information, right? And then she posts this dumbass caption. 1 year ago today, we saw Aurora for the first time in this sonogram, and my heart has never been the same. She is my light, my joy, my greatest blessing. But today also marks 10 years since the death of my mother, a woman not known for love, but for the abuse that she inflicted on me. Actually, DeeDee is known for being horrifically unalived, not for the abuse that Gypsy is trying to pretend happened. She is known for being horrifically horrifically unalived by her own child. And then she says, that pain has shaped my life in ways that led to tragic choices, consequences, and years we both can never get back. She's trying to basically dismiss the gravity of the situation of her own actions by lumping them together, by using this by we. She tries to group herself with other people so that it takes less so that it kind of excuses her behavior, and it takes the seriousness and the weight of the situation off of her. And yeah, she always has to be the victim. Yeah, people who met DeeDee said that she was a beautiful soul, that she was so kind, that she was so friendly, that she would give you the shirt off of her back, and she was just like ready to serve everyone. And that she was always so kind and polite and friendly. Glamorous, what are you trying to say? No, I don't think that was a second pregnancy announcement. That was the exact. This is the exact outfit that she was wearing in Life After Lockup when her and Ken went to go see the sonogram. Like, that's the exact outfit. So this is not a second pregnancy announcement. This is the very first one. Hey, Susan. I know a lot of people were thinking that this is a second, and that's probably why she posted it, to try to overshadow the memory of her mother by getting people to talk and to talk about this controversy rather than focus on her mom's death. Because that's what she does all the fucking time. She's always trying to take the attention off of whatever serious thing that she does by creating chaos and confusion. Her hair's pulled back. Like, her hair's pulled back. She never really wears it down when she goes out in public. She only wears it down for photos and stuff like that. And then she pulls it back into a ponytail or into a clip or whatever she does. She hardly ever wears her hair down and keeps it down because she doesn't like it. That's why it's gotten shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter.
I can't pin that comment.
Which one? She really does think that she can minimize the severity and diminish the murder of her mom. She absolutely thinks that she can, because she has overshadowed pretty much everything about the crime by making it about her rather than her mom. Yeah.
And Lily Rose.
It's at this point, it's all rage bait. She's just rage baiting everyone because that's all she can do now. She has absolutely no talent. She has absolutely nothing that she can try to help other people with. So the only thing that she can do is rage bait. And that's what she's been doing. And like that salon situation, that shit really pissed a lot of people off. I mean, it made a lot of people mad. So if she had supporters, people are starting to, like, the more and more she posts, the less people she has actually supporting her. Hey, Natasha. I'm good. How are you?
The comment of KP and Lily Rose.
Two versions. Okay. Two versions of what?
See Naomi's post. I'm thinking of the pregnancy announcement. I'm just thinking that's what she's talking about, but
okay, I'll go to her page. There was something. Oh, I think it was this one. Okay, this is what she says when people are on YouTube and they're calling her out for inconsistencies. This is what she replies. So somebody commented and said, "You say as a child you played with Barbies, but yet in your book you state you couldn't. Recommend maybe you should keep post-it notes around to keep your story straight." And then Gypsy says, "Hi there. I just wanted to kindly clarify something. When I was younger, my mother didn't allow me to play with Barbies, but as I became a preteen, she eventually started letting me, and I actually loved collecting them. She always has an excuse. She literally, no matter what you say, she is going to come back with some kind of explanation because she is always trying to explain things away." Hey, Mama T. She's always trying to explain things away. She's always got a she's always got an answer for something. Hold on. And I think somebody, oh, and then she says, "As for my memoir, I am the author and shared all the stories from my life, but I worked with 2 co-writers who helped turn my words into a grammatically polished book. I would tell my ghostwriter about my experiences, and they helped shape it into written chapters." Again, trying to basically deflect accountability and responsibility from the contradictions and say that it's because of the ghostwriters. It's not her that's contradicting herself. It's the ghostwriters that are contradicting her. Because again, that's what she does. She always has an excuse. It's also important to note that while the book was being written and edited, I was actively filming Gypsy Rose's life after lockup for Lifetime. And because of that, I didn't always have the time I needed to thoroughly review every edit. Some of the contradictions you may notice in the book are simply due to that oversight and on my end, and I take full responsibility for not proofreading more carefully before it went to print. So again, she always has an excuse. But yes, but then she said that she read every word 50 times. So which is it? Did you not have time to proofread, or did you read it 50 times? Let's see what else she says.
Mama preferred that I not play with Barbie dolls. She didn't want me to see the anatomy, no matter how poorly scaled, of a woman. If I were to undress a doll to change its clothes, I was to see a baby's body, without bulges or bumps. Clean, she'd call it. The accessories for a baby doll were a baby bottle and a stroller, not a provocative hot tub or dream house. The baby doll's companion was its mommy, not a Ken doll, which would have prompted more questions my mother didn't want to address. Very different from any of the documentaries or anything because...
I'm sorry, but my daughter had baby dolls, and even the baby dolls have a little bulge. You know? I mean, just keeping it all the way real, they're not totally flat. And why would that matter? Why is that such an important thing to her? And also, why is it important that the accessories for the baby doll was a stroller and a baby bottle, but the accessories for a Barbie would need to be a Ken doll? No, there's all kinds of accessories for Barbie dolls. There's the Barbie dream house, there's the pool, there's the car, there's all kinds of outfits and shoes. Like, just because you have a Barbie doll doesn't mean that you need to have a Ken. Gypsy is very male-centered, and the reason why her mother was MURDER was because she was male-centered. She was so male-centered that she had her mom killed so that she could be with a guy. There's literally so many accessories that a Barbie could have that have absolutely nothing to do with Ken. But yeah, she does. She acts like a 5-year-old. Did you guys watch that stupid ass video of her and Ken like showing what their parenting style was going to be? It seemed like they were both on the total opposite page. Oh.
Okay, so.
Okay. This one is what she just posted earlier, and I just want to say that you can tell that Ken is throwing shade. Just listen. I'm going to turn it all the way up.
Went to the gym. And then after, I got a
milkshake.
It's a frappuccino. It's a
Milkshake.
caramel frappuccino.
Your post-workout meal is a milkshake and a cookie.
And I got a caramel salted cookie. And it's delicious. That's my treat. I did 10 minutes on the elliptical, and that is my treat.
You burned 50 calories and then ate 900.
She thinks he's being like... She's so stupid that she doesn't recognize that he's being a smartass. Like, he's being a smartass to her. He's saying you only did 10 minutes on the elliptical, and you're treating yourself with a frappuccino and a cookie after only 10 minutes on the elliptical. 10 minutes, you guys. 10 minutes on the elliptical, and she deserves not only a cookie, but a frappuccino as well. Okay, let me go look at Naomi.
Rapid fire this morning on my page because of the posts that I've been making. But all I'm doing is telling the truth.
Hold on, let me see which one it is. I don't follow her.
I literally can't with this woman. I
Is it
just
this
can't.
one?
Gypsy posted a post today, and I'm going to read parts of it and then comment on it. I'm not going to do the first paragraph because it doesn't really mean anything, but today also marks 10 years since the murder of my mother. It's complicated and painful.
I like to roll up fruit roll-ups. Like, I actually roll them up like a burrito and then eat them like that.
Truth. Complicated and painful. It's not complicated, Gypsy. You killed your mother.
Yeah, you killed your mom.
You orchestrated the whole thing. Simple as that. My mother was an abusive person. That abuse defined my childhood and shaped so much of what I became known for. I was the one who orchestrated her death, that's what I said, and served 8.5 years in prison because of it. Yes, you orchestrated her death. She was not abusive. She was not abusive, and we've gone over this over and over. Evidence shows that you are a liar.
I haven't tried them in the
That's
freezer.
plain and simple. Then she goes to write, I won't rewrite the past, but I can choose to grow from it. And Aurora, she is my hope. Hope for...
Okay, I just want to say that this section right here about Aurora really concerns me because this is putting a lot of pressure on a baby. She says, Aurora is my hope. Hope for a future that is full of love, healing, and freedom from the trauma that came before her. She will never know the chains I wore, and I pray she becomes better than both me and the grandmother she'll never meet. This is putting a lot of responsibility on a baby. The baby's 5 months old, and the way that she writes, a hope for a future full of love, healing, and freedom from the trauma. A baby does not free you from trauma. A baby does not free you from trauma. Children do not free you from your trauma. Matter of fact, children probably bring more of that trauma to the surface because you are watching your child grow up and simultaneously remembering the things that happened to you when you were their age as they get older and older and older. Like, having children for me brought up a lot of wounds that I wasn't ready to acknowledge or heal. And for someone who claims that they've experienced all this trauma, it's like the idea that her daughter is not going to know any of that is very naive, I would say. It's very naive because there's absolutely no way that her daughter is not going to know about what Gypsy did to her mother. There's no way that Aurora is not going to hear, read, see, feel the experience of Gypsy taking her mother's life. That is not something that goes away. And it was like I mentioned in one of my other videos, trauma is stored in your body. So that baby was already born with the trauma of everything that Gypsy did before she even was brought to this earth. She had that trauma inside of her before she was even born. And that's what Gypsy does not seem to understand. That you can have a good childhood and still have trauma. Everyone does. Because the trauma is coming from the generation before and the generation before and the generation before. And each child experiences that generational trauma a little bit differently. Because each child is being passed on a different level of that trauma. Oh, Jen, I have done a lot of therapy, hypnotherapy. I've read a lot of books. I journal every day. I also meditate. So I spend a lot of time working on myself and just being a better person. I also have separated myself from anyone who is toxic in any way because that toxicity can bring up even more trauma. And as I'm working through like healing myself, it's been easier for me to handle the things that I need to handle without the pressure of outside, without the pressure of other people outside bringing more toxicity into my life, if that makes any sense. Yeah, the baby was also born out of deceit and lies, which is also trauma. That That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. So some Seed of Change is saying she dedicated that book to her baby, stating everything she did, good or bad, was all to have her. That's a lot of responsibility to put on a baby. Everything I did, good or bad, is because I wanted to have you. Yeah, it's like a curse. It's like a curse. Because once she gets older, she is going to know about all the things that Gypsy did, all the lies, all the deceit, all the conning, all the money stolen, all the text messages to Nick, all the videos, that she sent to Nick. And now everything that she's done subsequently getting out of prison. Because all of that matters. Like, you can't pretend that you're going to be a public figure and then spend the last year and a half being a complete and utter tornado everywhere you go and expect that your daughter's not going to be affected by that. Her daughter is absolutely going to be affected by the things that she's done before she went to prison. Yeah, that's my poodle. Before she went to prison and after getting out of prison. And until Gypsy actually does the work on herself, like therapy, there's no way in hell she's taking therapy seriously. There's no fucking way. If she's taking therapy seriously, she needs to fire her fucking therapist. Because her therapist isn't doing a good job at all. Her therapist sucks. And she needs to find a new one. Maybe one that is very well versed in sociopathy, narcissism, and manipulation by proxy, because that's what she's known all her life. That's what I was saying in one of my other videos. Gypsy has spent a lifetime using manipulation by proxy. A lifetime. Even when her mother was still alive, she was manipulating by proxy. I do, Jen. I do think she did it intentionally. I believe that when she went into Salon Centric, she knew. She knew when she went into Salon Centric that she shouldn't be there. She was told she shouldn't be there and she stayed anyways. Then she videotaped everything. She videotaped it because she knew she wasn't supposed to be there and she wanted to show everyone, ha ha, I get what I want. Because she even said in the beginning of that video, I just felt like it. I could have gone to the salon to get this done, but I just felt like doing it myself. And she videoed it because she knew that it was going to piss people off. Gypsy's new content strategy is rage bait. So that's the only thing she has left.
Babe, I'm gonna drop because I gotta go to bed.
I know, me too. Have a good night, Charlie. See you later. I'm curious what Salon Centric is actually going to do. Okay, I'm going to turn back around because he's like done playing the game. And I've been sitting on the floor and my knees are hurting. Oh. I try to take him outside, like to run and play and that sort of stuff. And it was nice earlier, so we did go outside for a little bit, but he's a big dog, so he needs a good, 30, 45 minutes to run around and play outside. And he didn't get that. So No, we're not gonna watch any episodes tonight because I started kind of late. Well, we might be able to. Hold on. I don't think that they're gonna do anything either. You know why? Because the employee let her. I can agree that this was on not only Gypsy, but on the employee as well. I know a lot of people were like, oh, but you know, the employee shouldn't have let her shop. That's right. The employee should not have let her shop. However, when the employee told her originally when she walked in, now there's signs everywhere. You trying to tell me that this woman has signs all up in her house for everyone else to follow, but she can't see a sign on a door? And then tried to say that the door says enter here. No, it did not. I've never seen a door that said enter here. Have you? I haven't. I have never seen a door that said enter here. Enter this door is what she said. Enter this door. I've never seen that. So I feel like walking in, she knew what she was getting into. And I also feel like when the employee told her, like, you have to, thank you, Jen, like, you have to be licensed to shop here, she should have left. She should have said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I'm going to put all this stuff back and I'm going to go. I appreciate you letting me know. And thank you so much. Have a good day. And left. That's what she should have done. However, the employee should not have offered, oh, I'll let you get it just this one time. I'll let you get it just this one time. No. Because she knew, the employee also knew that Gypsy was fucking vlogging the entire thing. Why would you let somebody vlog the entire thing knowing that you're breaking rules for them? Come on. If I was gonna allow somebody to break the rules in my store, I would tell them, I'm going to, let it slide just this one time, but you cannot film it. You cannot film this because I could lose my job because you are not a professional and you're not supposed to be here. So you cannot record any of this interaction. You cannot record yourself in the store. You cannot record yourself buying products. You cannot record yourself checking out. You cannot record yourself doing it yourself. Like, you cannot record any of it. That's what I would have done. If I was going to do somebody a favor, I would have laid the ground rules out. Like, hey, I'm doing you a favor. I'm letting you in here and you're not supposed to be. So you have to do me a favor and put that camera away. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my job. Like, that it's very possible that she could have been a Gypsy fan, or she could have been scared that she was gonna her. I mean, she's done it before. It's just keeping it all the way real. Gail, that's exactly what she should have done. She should have done that. That's exactly what she should have done. You need a license? Okay, I'm leaving. I don't have a license. Oh yeah, she enjoys getting everyone in trouble. She also enjoys when people are bullied on her behalf, when she gets people fired from their jobs. She likes humiliating others. Like, she likes to see other people in pain because of her own choices, actions, words, behaviors, and like Bree, she loves it when Bree goes to bat for her online and is, getting bullied and harassed, and she likes it when Bree goes and spends 16, 17 hours a day on live. She loves that shit because it makes her feel good. It makes her feel like, yes, it gives her power. And Gypsy wants power without accountability. I mentioned that in one of my other videos. She wants power with no accountability. And I was also saying this in one of my other videos. If Charles Manson had access to the internet, a victim complex, and victim signaling and pity complex, imagine what he could have done. Because this is the same thing that Gypsy's doing. Gypsy and Charles Manson are basically one in the same. Because he also never actually killed anyone. He didn't commit any crimes. I mean, petty crimes, but so did Gypsy. Gypsy's committed a lot of petty crimes. Theft, fraud, identity fraud. She's committed a lot of petty crimes. And it's interesting that people actually thought that she was going to come out of prison and be a law-abiding citizen. She's a criminal. She's a career criminal. That is what she has done all her life. She has absolutely no other skill sets, no other talents, other than being a career criminal, a career fraudster. Once all the money runs out, imagine what she's going to do. I see credit card fraud, insurance fraud, Social Security fraud, IRS fraud. I see a lot of frauds coming up once she has no way to make money. Hey, Gracie, I'm good. How are you? Oh, yeah, she'd still be conning even if DeeDee were here. DeeDee would probably not be conning because DeeDee has education. I think she's worse than Charles Manson as well. And the reason why I think that she's worse is because Charles Manson did not have access to a computer, a phone, internet connection, and not many people felt sorry for Charles Manson. People all over the world still feel sorry for Gypsy. It's called victim signaling. It's a pity complex. I feel sorry for Aurora. I swear I do. Oh, what else was... Hold on.
I literally
was...
And Aurora don't never meet.
Hold on.
She will know the chains. She will absolutely know them.
Yeah, she will. She will.
Whole entire them, both me and the grandmother, she'll never meet. She will know the chains. She will absolutely know them. Your whole entire story and the evidence that goes along with it is out in the public now.
Yeah, that's
so
all
Aurora
out.
will be able to make her own mind up, and I'm pretty sure she'll see what the rest of us see, that you are a liar, a schmurderer, and that you cannot tell the truth if your life depends on it. Anyways, then she closes out with, "This day carries a lot, but above all reminds me that even in the darkness, new light can rise." I don't know what else to say, guys. What do you think?
So here's the thing. Whenever I was growing up, I had a narcissistic mother. I did notice that, Jen. I did. I'm going to talk about that in just 1 second. When I was growing up, I had a narcissistic mother. I had absolutely no idea that my mother was narcissistic. I knew that I was being abused physically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically. Like, I knew I was being abused Some of the abuse was physical. I was taken away from my mom at 8 years old and put into foster care. I was in and out of foster care until I was 12. Group homes, all different kinds of things like that. And when my mother she quit drinking long enough to like get me and my sisters back, and then once like Child Protective Services was no longer in our life, she just went back to drinking again. And that was kind of the cycle. She would stop and then stop long enough to get us back and then start again. It was a repetitive cycle, right? So I knew that there was something wrong in my childhood. Being the baby of the family, like I knew that there was something that was not right. I knew that I wanted better. I knew that I wanted different. But I really couldn't put my finger on like what it was. But I had this weird sick feeling in my stomach. Thank you, Onward. I had this weird feeling in my stomach from the time that I can even remember. I mean, the very first foster home that we went to was a really nice woman and man. They couldn't have children, and it was me and my two sisters. And they literally like wanted to adopt me, which I felt bad because like my other two sisters were older. They wanted to adopt me, and it was like, no, you can't just take her. Like, you've got to take all the sisters. So that didn't end up working out. But even then, I knew that I would have been better off without my mom. Like, I knew that. At 8 years old, I knew that my mother was a terrible human being, and I wanted to get as far away from her as possible. And that thought and that mindset stayed with me all the way up until I was an adult. But there's something inside you as a child that always desires your mother's love. Regardless how you feel, you know that you deserve better. You know that they're not giving you the love, attention, and sometimes they're not even giving you the necessities that you need, because sometimes we didn't even have the necessities. Like, but you still crave that bond that you want. And it doesn't just go away as you get older, right? Like, it took me until I was probably 33 to finally realize that my mother is not going to change. She's not a good person. And I need to separate myself from her, because she doesn't care about the negative things that she has done that has impacted my life in a negative way. She doesn't care. And that's the same thing that Aurora is going to feel. She's going to know and understand at a very young age that her mother does not care about how her actions impact and affect her life. Aurora, I'm speaking of Aurora. Aurora is going to feel that. Probably by the time she's 3 years old, she's going to feel that. By the time she's 8, because that's when you can kind of, you're out of that, I think it's the alpha brainwaves, and you start switching into like the theta, the beta, and all of that. But from birth till 8, you're in that alpha brainwave, so you're more susceptible to ideas, information, and all of that. She's going to know at age 3 or 4 that her mom is not a good person, that she ignores her, all the things. She's going to know. And by the time she's 8 years old, she's going to desire to want a better mother-child relationship. And it's only going to increase as she gets older and older and older and older. Yeah. you knew at 5. So I don't really have a lot of memories from before, I want to say 7 years old. And I've had a lot of trauma. So I don't really understand why I don't have a lot of memories from before 7 years old. But I do remember between 7 and 8, there was a lot of things going on. And then by the time I turned 8, my mother had completely abandoned us and moved out to North Carolina because we're from Texas. So she had completely abandoned me and my sisters with no word to anyone, just left us with my grandmother and grandfather and fucking took off. And we didn't hear from her for months. And yeah, there's just like a crazy situation. I remember going down that's a weird story, William, because you were in the car. I also remember driving over the bridge in Corpus Christi, and back then, the cars were really big and not a lot of them had seatbelts in them. And I remember the door flying open, and like my little self was holding on like death grip to this door because it had popped open, and we were riding like over this bridge. Everyone had to slow down so that they could try to like close the door while I was like grabbing on, like my hands were on the handle of the door. It was crazy. Like there's just a lot of crazy shit. I don't really have any trauma with my dad other than not having him around. My mother would say negative things about him, the same way that Gypsy says negative things about her mom. Like, I don't actually know if any of those things are true because my mom's a fucking narcissist. So I don't know if the things that she was saying about my dad actually happened or if it was just all bullshit to try to get me to not like him so that I would pick sides, because narcissistic parents always want you to pick sides and they always want you to pick their side, and no matter like what, they want you to believe that the other parent is a horrible person. I don't have a relationship with either of my sisters now. I don't have a relationship with anyone in my family. No one. Nick is still covering for her. I don't think that he will continue to cover for her. I think eventually he's going to speak out. It's weird that he hasn't yet, but I think it'll eventually come to a time where he will. Is it still freezing on TikTok? I'm not going to stay on for too much longer. It's lagging. That must mean that somebody said that when it's freezing like that it's because somebody's recording it. If y'all are on YouTube, come to YouTube. I'm not going to stay on for much longer. I'm probably only going to stay on for like 5 more minutes. I'll be back tomorrow. I do, Jen. I do think that I don't think that we do it consciously. We do it unconsciously, seeking out relationship patterns so that we can heal what we need to fulfill with with like our parental relationships. My YouTube channel is the same. It's VIVTV _ unplugged. Yeah, you guys are fine. They were saying on TikTok that it's lagging really bad. So I'm trying to get everybody to come over to YouTube, because it seems like YouTube, even though sometimes I have a difficult time like connecting, I never really have any issues with the stream, you know, lagging behind or cutting in and out or anything like that. It usually stays pretty consistent on YouTube. So here's the thing with Nick. Obviously, she's mad at him because he was disloyal to her. That's the reason why she has villainized him in the media and tried to make everybody seem like he's this horrible person, because he was disloyal. He was disloyal by giving up information about what happened in the interrogation. She thought that she had done such a good job at manipulation by proxy when it came to Nicholas that he was not going to tell, that he was not going to say anything, that he would have absolutely taken the fall for her. That's what she was hoping for, right? She was hoping that she had done a good enough job at manipulating him that he was going to take the entire fall. And because he didn't, that's the reason why she has retaliated. I mean, we saw what she did with Ryan. We saw how bad the retaliation was with Ryan, and Ryan didn't even fucking do anything wrong. Like, he did nothing. He did nothing wrong to Gypsy. And look at the way that she treated him. So imagine that Nicholas actually told the truth. Not all of the truth, but some of the truth. And look at how she's painted him out to be this terrible person. Because he didn't really rat her out, but he was disloyal. And remember that video? If you disobey me or are disloyal to me in any way, I'll take the one thing that I have over you, Gypsy. And she has honored her word by taking away the one thing that she had over him, which was Gypsy. Because that was supposedly like Ruby talking to him or whatever. So the timeline of events actually proves that DeeDee died on the 10th. The text messages, the coroner's report, everything proves that she died on the 10th. Y'all come over to YouTube. I'm gonna hang up on TikTok. Love you. Bye. It's still lagging really bad on TikTok. I don't know why. I don't know if he thinks that he blacked out or not. I have my own opinions about Ryan. I think that Ryan is genuinely like a good person. I think that he has a good heart. I think that his love for Gypsy has blinded him from reality. And instead of seeing her for who she is as a person, he, like all of her other cult members, make excuses for her. Yeah, he has a good heart, but he is definitely a character in his own right. Like I question truly anyone who would reach out to a murderer in prison and then marry them. I question your morals, your ethics, and your character and your integrity. If you would be so manipulated by a murderer to believe that they're a victim and that you want to spend the rest of your life with this person who has unalived the closest person to them, like, no. I definitely question everything about Ryan. Do I think that he's a good person? Yeah, I think that he's a good person, but I think that he was obviously very easily manipulated. And because he was easily manipulated by Gypsy and failed to see like the entire picture of everything that happened, he's got rose-colored glasses on, and he needs to take them off and start doing his own research into everything that is out in the public. Because at this point, if you're still believing the narrative that Gypsy was a victim, you are actively ignoring the evidence. Like, that's just the truth. If you're still believing Gypsy is a victim, you are actively ignoring the evidence that's out there, because there's evidence out there to prove that she was not a victim. No, Brittany, everyone said that it was lagging really bad. Oh, because it's moving. Everyone said that it was lagging really bad, so I ended up just letting go. I'm sorry, Kate. I usually don't use my phone. I usually use my computer, and the computer wouldn't connect for some reason, and the phone's going dead. So I was trying to charge it while holding it at the same time, because it won't stand up on the, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? It's because I was on my, it was because I was messing with the charger, trying to plug it in and unplug it. I must have hit the mute button. Hey. No, it's me. It's me. Okay, good. So what I was saying is, if she wants people to stop talking about the crime and move on, so she says, she's going to have to be honest. She's going to have to tell people what actually happened. People do not want to hear this bullshit story about her being a victim. And as long as she holds up this narrative that she's the victim, and at this point, I feel like she believes that she's a victim. I feel like she actually believes that her mother was abusive towards her. And it's diabolical. Like, her mother gave her everything. Hey, Brittany, I'm good. Her mother gave her absolutely every fucking thing. Everything that she could have ever wanted. Everything. Did she maybe not get the emotional support that she needed? Possibly. Is it abusive to teach your child to manipulate and con society? Absolutely. It is. Right? So I agree that there is some toxic behaviors that were learned as she was a child and all of those things. But as far as the abuse that they have tried to throw out into the world, saying that she was medically abused, that she was physically abused, and all these different things, I don't think that that ever happened. And until she admits that those things are a lie, people are not going to get off of her neck. Thank you, Kane. People are not going to get off of her neck. We're going to be stomping on her neck until she is honest. Until she's honest. There were several of us that have mentioned, like, take a lie detector test. If you're not lying, take a lie detector test. Come on. Take a lie detector test. An FBI administered lie detector test, if you're being so honest. But she'll never do that because she knows she's a fucking liar. I do think that she believes some of the lies that she tells too. I do. I think she believes it. I think that she has convinced herself that she's a victim. Yeah. Which is just crazy to me. Like, how can you possibly be a victim? How? I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. Y'all. Oh my gosh. I have nowhere to stand my phone up. Let's try this. Woo! I'm so sorry. I have nowhere to put my phone up. My daughter's in the bathroom and that's where my tripod is. William, you're too funny. Yeah. And she thinks it's funny. She thinks it's funny that that society wants to pay her to watch her boring life. I'm going to try to back this up. There we go. She thinks it's funny that society wants to pay her for her boring life. So here's the thing that is going to happen. Gypsy desperately wants to be able to share her life on social media and make that easy money, right? She knows that no matter what she puts out, people are going to want to watch because they are hating. You know? She knows that. But what she is not going to anticipate is that these candid moments that she's having between her and Ken, or her by herself, or whatever, her having these little moments and reminiscing and opening up to the camera like she did with Ken in that parenting video. And then she also did in what was the other video that she did? There was the parenting one, and I can't remember. But what's going to happen is she's going to give little truths in these videos. She's going to open up a little more and a little more and a little more. and people are going to start connecting the dots. And then it's going to be so obvious that her story has been a lie that she's not going to be able to deny it anymore, because she's going to tell on herself. Because after a while, you can't continue with the facade, with the lie. Yeah, like Ash Trevino. How long did it take for Ash Trevino? A couple years. That's the same thing that's gonna happen to Gypsy. Yeah, and the content is all rage bait, Anna. It's all rage bait. Because at this point she has nothing else that she can do. So she's very calculatingly using rage bait for content. Carissa, somebody has asked me and several other creators to go over all of the lies. There are so many that it would need to be a pretty long video. But yeah, there's a couple of us that I think are, I mean, I feel like that needs to be a group project. I do. I feel like it needs to be a group project, because there's no way that I would be able to find them all on my own. Like, I can confidently say that there are things that I have missed in some of the documentaries that I'm seeing other creators find. So, like, I feel like it needs to be a group project. Like, all of us creators need to come up with different lies that we've seen and come together as a group and do like a group effort situation. I do think Ken is scared of her, but I also think Ken likes belittling her because he does. I think he enjoys making her feel stupid. No, William, no. I know, I can't stand her either. I don't hate her. I dislike the lies, the manipulation, the change of story, the lack of accountability. There's a lot of things that I don't like about her, but I don't hate her. I'm very careful using the word hate because it is such a strong word. Things are only going to get worse between Ken and Gypsy. And I have a feeling he's purposely treating her like shit so that she will leave him. Because with a narcissist, it has to be their idea. Like, like if you've ever dealt with a narcissist before, you know that whatever happens, it needs to be their idea. Because if it's not their idea, they're going to make the other person look bad. Just like she did with Ryan. Even though it was her idea to leave Ryan, she still made him look bad. And Ken knows this. He's not completely naive to the situation. Like, he's not. He can't, like, you can't be that completely naive. So I think that he knows that I need to make her leave me in order to get out of this relationship alive. Otherwise, she's gonna... I'm sorry. It's not funny. It's not funny. I'm sorry. It's not funny. It's not. It's not funny. But You can tell he wants to leave the relationship with his life. So he's trying. They do. They bring out the worst in each other. And I think that that's good for us, because the more of her bad side that continues to be shown, the easier it's going to be for the rest of society to see that she's a POS, you know? She won't get away with things forever, Kane. I promise. She won't. She's gonna screw up. Mark my words. She's getting a little more feisty in the comments. Now that it's getting closer and closer to her getting off parole, she's starting to actually respond to comments. On TikTok, on YouTube, like she's actually responding to comments. So once she gets off of parole, she's going to be in those comment sections. She's going to try at first to be respectful, and my battery's almost dead, so I'm going to have to go in a minute. She's going to try at first to be respectful, be responsible, and like pretend like she's this well-versed, classy female. But after a while, and I would say probably a week, after a while, the real Gypsy is going to come out. She's not going to be able to hold back for very much longer, especially when people keep poking. Because you know how we do. We keep poking and poking and poking and poking and poking, asking the tough questions in the comments, you know? And after a while, she's going to be like, with the niceness, and the real Gypsy is going to come out. And that's when everyone is going to see Gypsy for who she actually is. Yeah, if her toys pacified her, well, that's also weird, because she claimed that she needed the baby bottle. So, did she say in that video that her toys pacified her along with the baby bottle? Because she told Kel Lowry in that one podcast that her comfort was the baby bottle, not dolls and stuff. And that's what I mean. Like, it would take several people going through all of the interviews, documentaries, the Lifetime show. Like, it would take a lot of people to go through all the information to really find all the lies, because there's just so many. Yep, she's gonna absolutely lose her temper in public. Yep, she will. I'm so glad everybody got a good laugh. I gotta go because my phone's on like 5% battery. It's probably gonna hang up on you guys in a minute anyway. I'm glad to finally be back. I'm safe. My daughter's safe. We're all doing really good. And Michelle said her toys pacified her and her toothbrush satisfied her. Oh my God. I love you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow, and tomorrow we will actually be watching the Prison Confessions. Okay, I can't with y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.